Am I the asshole for having a photo of my son's DNA test framed and hanging in the living room? I, male 32, met my wife 3 years ago. We got married 9 months ago. We have a baby boy together that she got pregnant with while we were engaged. My wife used to be a sex worker. No judgment on that, please. What's a sex worker? She did what she had to do to survive. Got it. That answers my question. My parents were always being skeptical about her, and lots of times asked if I want to settle down with her. When she got pregnant, they went nuts and demanded a DNA test. They refused to attend the wedding till the DNA test was done, which caused a huge problem. They ended up missing the wedding, obviously. The test was done because my wife wanted to prove a point, and eventually my parents made amends and we reconciled. They started visiting and yesterday noticed the photo of the DNA test that I hang in the living room. They asked about it, and I told them that it serves as a reminder for why they didn't attend my wedding. They were stunned and livid when I mentioned that I tell any guest the same thing I told them. Mom and Dad were mad and asked me repeatedly to take it down, saying I'm being too harsh on them and refusing to let go of the past as well as embarrassing them to other family members. I refused to take it down, and I admit being sarcastic in my response, saying it goes with the house decor. They begged, then refused to come over anymore till I remove it. My brother thinks it's petty and childish and I should take it down. Alright, I'm editing some stuff in. First of all, my wife does not mind having the photo up. She laughs about it sometimes, but she's still carrying some hurt that was caused by what happened. And second of all, no, she no longer does sex work. It's all in the past. And did I mention that my brother and I aren't close? He's known as the crackhead in the family, so that's that. Okay. This is I don't even know where to go with this, man. Okay, let's backtrack a little bit. So he met her 3 years ago. They got married 9 months ago. They have a baby together. She got pregnant while they were engaged. It is his child. Wonder how they met. Just saying. And as a parent, I get where they're coming from. As a parent, you see more risks than your child does. I understand where they're coming from. They executed on communicating their concerns a little bit harshly and childishly. Demanding. As hard as it is to trust your kids to make their own decisions, he's a grown-ass man and he can make his own decisions. And they were trying to protect him by saying, you need to make sure that that is your child. I understand that. But at the end of the day, does it matter? It didn't matter to him, either because he just flat out knew it was his kid or he didn't care, which means that it shouldn't have cared to his parents. But I understand why it did. Now, missing the wedding because there wasn't a DNA test to prove the kid was his, they went a little bit too far with that one. A wee bit. Oh, I will not be attending that wedding unless there is a DNA test. No one says that. I understand their concerns, but they're not attending the wedding doesn't mean the wedding's not going to happen. Did they think them saying, oh, no, we won't be there? Maybe his mom was thinking, if we don't go, they just won't have the wedding. They'll hold off. That didn't happen. Y'all missed the wedding, and y'all look like asshats. And now there's a framed reminder so that you remember how big of an asshat you were. And yeah, that stings, but guess what? It was warranted. It won't hang up there forever. I really don't think it will, especially when that kid's old enough to be like, what's that? And then OP has to be like, well, son, let me tell you about the day that your grandma and papa missed your dad and mom's wedding because they didn't believe you were my child. See, your mom used to be a sex worker. It's a big old story that he's not going to want to get into. So that is not going to be hanging up in the living room forever. Too many complications with it. So just do your time and get over it. Not going to the wedding was a shitty thing to do. I understand where you're coming from, but it was a shitty thing to do. In fact, let's reference our ASCON scale to see where you fit in here. As a reminder, ASCON 1 is no way you should have done that. You're a terrible human being. ASCON 2 is you definitely shouldn't have done that, but it doesn't make you a terrible person. ASCON 3 is you probably should have approached that differently, and ASCON 4 is you probably could have approached that differently. Maybe you're an asshole, maybe you're not. And let's see where Grandma and Papa fit in here. Personally, my feeling on this is them missing the wedding because of this DNA test not happening yet is an ASCON 1 offense. That is assholery of the highest order. Now, OP is asking if he's an asshole for having a photo of his son's test framed and hanging in the living room. I'm going to say you probably should have approached that differently. ASCON 3. So you're not as big of an asshole as your parents, OP. Still a little bit of an asshole, though. I mean, the only reason that you have that hanging up is specifically to be an asshole. So you kind of have to accept the title that comes along with the action, right? So far, you're a big family of assholes. We don't know much about how your wife views the whole parent situation here. So right now, she's not an asshole. Your kid obviously isn't an asshole, but you're a little bit of one, and your parents definitely are assholes. So if it's in the blood, your kid might be doomed here to be a little bit of an asshole, at least. Let's hope that your wife balances that out. I get where everybody's coming from here. I'm still curious how you guys met, you and your wife, just saying. Also, check it out. That is Moira, a new Santa Bebe shirt. It might be available in the store. You better go check.